Hi everyone and welcome for this first trading week recap. Uh, just to tell you about what these recaps will be. I usually take a few trades during the week. Some days I trade, some others I don't. And in this trading recap, I just want to go through them quickly, giving also a bit of a sentiment for the market in these days. The present week is the first week of August, which is not usually very hot market, but it was fine. I mean, compared to the previous one, it wasn't much worse. So I guess I get a tiny red day and almost break-even day. I managed to trade only 2 days. As the others, I checked the market in the power hour, but I didn't feel there was anything worth trading, so I simply stared at the chart for a bit, but I didn't take a play. So let's start with the first stock that I traded. That was on the August 2nd, and it's EVK, and we can see the daily chart here. And as you can see there, on this candle that was on the August 2nd, the daily chart was pretty fine. I mean, there were a few clear lines or levels for resistance from the daily chart, another here, but they were very spaced out, so pretty decent, I have to say. On the 5-minute, if we go to the 5-minute chart and we go back to the August 2nd, we can see that there were a few setups, interesting ones, both during pre-market and after the open. Some of the levels, the daily levels, were very well respected. The only play I took here was actually I took 2 plays. The first one is on this area here, so of support of the 9 EMA here in this area, and the other one was for the where is this? Where did view up ended up here? Hold on a second. Let me check this one. It was here on the 2nd, August 2nd. Here we are. Okay. This view up, and the second play was around here. So when the stock reclaimed view up after holding support from this daily level here. Let's go in detail on the 1-minute chart, which is this one here. Okay. On this chart you can see I usually chart the daily levels in yellow, view up in orange, and then there are 4 EMAs, the 9, the 20, the 50 and the 200, in light gray, light blue, or light purple and purple, deep purple. I like to call it deep purple. And so the first play was right around here on this candle at 385. Because I was seeing it holding support here. I don't usually buy for reversals, at least not with my main share size. So I entered with the starter, and the trade idea was to add after the stock broke through view up. So this orange line here. So getting into full position here, and then sell around maybe the first half here 435, and then maybe another half for if it could test at least the previous high. It didn't work. My stop was right below this level, the 380 level, and so when I could have sold maybe here, seeing that it wasn't holding very well, but considering that the overall the stock wasn't flashing very hard, and my position was only half of the average size, I held through here a bit. I didn't see it going immediately up again, so after testing and breaking this level, I said, okay, you know what, it's fine, let's get rid of this in case it wants to go way deeper down. Consider we're not in a hot market, so I don't trust anything, basically. And the second trade, as I was saying, was right around. You can see that in the end it worked. I mean, it made the move that I was looking for, but only afterwards, and holding support from this 50 EMA here. So maybe I could have held a bit longer, but actually it was way longer, like 7-8 minutes more. My plays are usually a bit quicker. I don't trade the open, mostly because my broker gets funny, let's say, during the open. Sometimes orders don't get through, sometimes orders don't get... you can't even cancel the order sometimes. So I'd rather not trade the open after being burned a few times on it. And I waited. For the stock to reclaim view up here. So the other trade I took was still in pre-market anyway, and it was, let me zoom in here. Okay, so basically I entered on this breakout right after the daily level at 410, and the idea was again to test these levels here that we could see 435. This time I entered with my average share size, and I was okay to sell if it couldn't hold the view up for a loss, and my target theoretically would have been here for 35. So it didn't actually reach my target even on this candle here, but I sold it maybe too soon, considering the choppy market we're in. On this candle here, the reason why I sold here, that's not really at the bottom of this candle, but more around the 407, like here, was because it dipped down inside inside view up, below view up. It reclaimed it, pushed it through, couldn't break this level here that it was testing around 415, and then the ask got stuck at 406 and couldn't break. And actually you can see that it needed some time also in the next candle here in order to do so, in order to break again, and so I sold basically. Maybe I could have held here to the 9 EMA here, and we're gonna see later that I did this thing in a different play on the other day that I traded, learning from this lesson that maybe in this market it's better to not to expect stocks to go immediately, but giving them some time to arrange the play. So for this day, basically I ended up having a couple of tiny losers. Nothing hard. I mean, it was I think 20% to my maximum loss. But given that I didn't feel that the market was behaving correctly, and I was already in the red, and even though clearly there were some moves that could have provided very interesting profits, I wasn't really feeling it, so I said, you know what, I'm already red a bit, better to cut the losers. and live to trade another day. So jumping on the second day I traded, which was the 6th of August, I traded two stocks, any here for this candle here, and the SPCE here. And it was one of the leading uppers for the day, and again the daily chart wasn't too bad. What I didn't like about it was that it had a kind of thick way of trading. Thick, I mean that both on the ask and the bid there were huge orders, and it wasn't really breaking out very clearly. Still, it wasn't too bad. I mean, if we go and see maybe also on the 5-minute chart here, we can see that although being a bit choppy in this area here quite a lot, and also basically everywhere in these candles here, sometimes it gave actually some decent moves, like this area here. It was very early on, 5:35 in the morning. I don't trade that, but also here it was fine, and that's where I traded it basically. Let's go and check it out on the 1-minute chart. We can see the choppiness. With choppiness I mean this kind of behavior. You can see that basically the stock is trading in the range, and even when it's going higher, the breakouts are very small compared to the size of the candle, and the candle itself retraced the previous one most of the time. So there aren't very clear breakouts. But one that wasn't too bad was right around, let me see, where did I trade it? Let me check. Was in pre-market. Okay, there we go. Let's go pre-market. Here. And as you remember what happened, what I just said on EVK, remember here? That I traded a similar setup. This time I saw that the stock was reclaiming the view up, holding on the 200 and the 9, and I saw it breaking again, view up here, with more consistent, so closing the candles above. It tapped it once, it broke through, but it didn't make a new low compared to this pullback, and also it was holding the 20 EMA on the 1 minute. So what I said is, okay, if you break this previous high above you up, I'm in. So I entered basically 508 roughly, and it went basically to my target 518. I held for a bit all of this candle and waited here. When I saw that it couldn't break 520, I sold the 519 the first half, and then I let it pull back, adjusting my stop around break even on my entry. Actually, I was okay. I was feeling very confident as long as it could hold 511 or even 512, which is basically this the high of this candle here, which did. So I waited, and then maybe I sold a bit too soon. I sold at 524, the other half, which is right around here. I could have held maybe a bit longer. What I didn't like was to hold for the whole 5-minute candle and through the next one. So you can see here is 904, this is 905, so this is a new 5-minute candle opening, and it was a bit up on nothing. There was no support. So I, instead of waiting for a new pullback, I just said, you know what, it's fine, I get 524, whatever it is. It's the first play of the day, I want to build up a cushion. And that's the only play I took on any. Then the other stock I traded instead was SPCE. SPCE was a different thing. It had news as well, so it was fine. It had this long period of consolidation in the daily chart, where you can see this purplish magenta line, the 200 on the daily. What was interesting here was that it was breaking the previous candle high, and also this pivot here at 32.82 for 32.80. It was breaking this high, this pivot here. It also broke this candle here, and it was again above the 20 EMA. So what I was looking for was a push higher, pull back to this daily level, and then a new move to this other level here, which was 37.97. So a very big move from 34.44 to 37.97 was possible, in my opinion, given also it had news, so somehow it could be justified. It didn't go actually, so let's see what it did. On the 5-minute chart, here we can see basically where I took my play, which is right around, let me check. I guess it was right around here. Yeah, I think it's right around here. Or not? Was yeah, right in this area here. We can see it better on the 1-minute chart. This one here. Basically, I took my play here. We can see that once it broke through 34.44, it basically never pulled back. It just went straight up, candle after candle after candle. It did a very small pullback here of just 3 cents, and then broke out again. But I wasn't feeling okay entering here because the 9 EMA had not been tapped in any way, and I prefer to wait for a pullback to tap the 9 EMA and then move higher. When it tapped it, it didn't really hold. It was also a bit harder as a pullback, but on this candle and this next candle here, went to the 20 EMA though, and also reclaimed almost immediately this daily level at 34.44. It made a new high here, holding through the 9 EMA. Then it pulled it back a bit, and I say it starts to look a bit like an ABCD pattern. So my entry, there were 2 possible entries here actually. One was the new high after this candle, so at the break of 34.89, with the target of ideally 35.62, or a bit of a later entry. That's the one I took here for the break of the pivot. So break of 35.09, I entered with a limit order at 35.15, so right about here, and it was good in terms of timing, because it was also a new 5-minute candle. It was this is the 10:10 a.m. and this is 10:11, so it had plenty of time to actually prove itself. Unfortunately, my stop was here, right below the 9 EMA, and given this candle was a bit extended, I really wasn't feeling okay holding through a major pullback here. So as it couldn't break by a decent amount, this candle went just 15 cents higher than my entry, and my first target was around here, 45 or 48. I said, okay, you're not going. I could have sold it sooner, but given the choppy market again, I wanted to see if it could hold the 9 EMA here, maybe then explode from here again. It didn't. It went straight down, and as soon as it made a sort of mini bounce here, I sold at 34.96. So by the time I sold it, this 34.96 was below the 9 EMA. So all things considered, I think my trading was on spot. I'm a bit more hesitant rather than very quick with my fingers to jump in on stuff moving. I really like to have a plan and know my entry, my exit, and my stop before entering the trade. So I usually take my time to decide what to do, and that's also why I took very few plays. And that's it. This basically made me go back to break even on the day, and given nothing was really moving, nothing I liked, at least I was feeling confident of playing with more. I said, yeah, it's okay. Let's leave it here. It's almost very, very small red wick. It's perfectly fine given the time. Let's leave to trade another day again. So if you have any questions on these charts that I'm using, on TradingView or my strategy, or really anything related to what I've discussed here, feel free to write in the comments below. I try to answer everyone, so I'll be waiting for you. Have fun, stay green, and bye bye.